Hello Ospreys, and welcome to an entertainment news update on Inside Swoop at 90. I'm TJ Tomkunas, here to give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. Hello and welcome to Inside Jacksonville, a production of the University of North Florida School of Communication and the CW17. I'm Timothy Tomkunas, and we're here each month with stories about life on the First Coast.
What makes this track so unique and what draws racing organizations from across the globe is its one-of-a-kind design. The track features an 1,100-foot straightaway and 4 banked turns, making the NFKC one of the fastest karting tracks in the world. And while the people of Jacksonville might not know much about this place, racers from across the world still recall their time here.
When I was talking to the members of NOC Rucks, they all said that what is really appealing is how easy rucking is. You simply get a backpack, add some weight, and go for a walk. But what they all agree on is that what is most appealing about the club is the social aspect, especially with the last year being filled with isolation and quarantine. What's going on, Ospreys? TJ Tomkunas here, your host for all sports on Inside Swoop at 90. Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and the Bucks were going in strong with a 3-2 series lead. With the combinations of Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton, the biggest question was whether or not this series had the potential for a Game 7. But the Greek Freak decided that 6 was enough, and the sun set on Phoenix's finals dreams. And yes, that pun was intended. After 50 years without a finals win, the Bucks will be bringing the Larry O'Brien Trophy back to Milwaukee. And honestly, it truly was all thanks to Giannis, who decided to match the championship drought and put up 50 points and 14 rebounds last night. Without any doubt, he was also named the finals MVP, and the Bucks became the 5th team to win the finals after trailing 2-0 in the series. While everyone in Milwaukee is celebrating, I am a little sad since basketball season has officially ended. But with the Olympics underway, there is so much more to cover. That is, if they are able to operate smoothly. For weeks, I have been talking about how the COVID-19 pandemic has had major impacts on the already postponed Tokyo Olympics. No fans from abroad, key athletes forced to sit out due to positive tests, and a state of emergency in the host city have created a perfect storm to completely change how we will watch the games. Despite massive protests against the games and various health concern factors, the Japanese government has persisted in hosting an Olympics like no other. Some events, including softball and soccer, have already begun, but the official opening ceremony is this Friday. Hopefully, all the athletes stay safe and officials as well, and the USA will be able to bring home a few more gold medals. But one of those potential medals may not come as easily as we thought. The U.S. women's soccer team lost their first Olympic match to Sweden early this morning. This is shocking to me, as I'm sure it is to all of you, especially since yesterday I was just talking about how this team was the favorite to win the entire tournament and was on a 44-game win streak. I guess all good things do come to an end. Speaking of which, we are out of time, but as always, I am TJ Tomkunas. Be sure to tell someone you love them. I'll see you here tomorrow. Hey there, Ospreys. TJ Tomkunas here with your sports news update on Inside Swoop 90, where today we are covering everything Olympics. The U.S. men's basketball team played in their first Olympics game Saturday night, and when it came to the final buzzer, the result was shocking. The 25-game Olympic winning streak for the U.S. was brought to an end in an 83-76 loss to France. This wasn't something that seemed impossible, especially looking at the U.S. team's chemistry. The U.S. men's team just hasn't seemed to become a team as of yet. Evan Fournier of France put it best when he said that, quote, "They are better individually, but they can be beaten as a team. If the men want to have a shot at bringing home the gold, they're going to have to shape up and come together soon. They face Nigeria tomorrow, a team they have already lost to in an exhibition match." And in other news, Caleb Dressel led the way to a U.S. gold in the men's 4x100-meter freestyle relay, which helped ease the sting of Katie Ledecky taking silver in the women's 400-meter freestyle. In 3 minutes and 8.97 seconds, Dressel and the U.S. men's team recorded the 3rd fastest time in history. But the celebrations can only last so long, as Dressel still has a brutal schedule of 3 individual events and 3 relays. With 1 gold down, he will be looking for 5 more. And while he prepares, Katie Ledecky will do the same. After her loss to Titmus of Australia, her first individual loss since winning the 800 at the 2012 London Games, she still has the 1500, 200, and 800-meter freestyles later this week. And following the end of the first weekend of the Olympics, the U.S. sits at a total of 14 medals, 7 gold, 3 silver, and 4 bronze. We'll be looking to play catch-up with China, who is sitting at 18 total medals, with Japan just behind at 13 total. And with that, we are out of time. So as always, I am TJ Tomkunas. Be sure to tell someone you love them, and I'll see you here tomorrow with your Olympics recap. Welcome back to Inside Jacksonville. Our next story is all the buzz. Did you know that your favorite meals aren't first made by a chef, but by a little striped insect? Inside Jacksonville's Darby Emery introduces us to the hard workers who keep our plants alive and our food sweet. What's going on, Ospreys? TJ Tomkunas back with another sports update on Inside Swoop. And in case any of you were wondering why the Brooklyn Nets are called the Nets, it's because that's all they get whenever they shoot the ball. At least for Kevin Durant, that is. Last night was Game 5 of the Nets and Bucks semifinal series, and it was all Kevin Durant all game. Durant stepped up to deliver 49 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists while playing the full 48 minutes of the game. But with Kyrie Irving and James Harden both out due to injuries, it's clear why KD decided to go all out this game and bring the Nets to a 3-2 lead in the series. Now, of course, the finals aren't the only playoffs happening right now, and Florida's own Tampa Bay Lightning are still looking for their second Stanley Cup championship in a row. Last night, they struck the New York Islanders with a 4-2 win in Game 2, and as a Bruins fan, I'm going to call this sweet revenge. Series tied 1-1, and finally, we're ending the show in the Golden City, where the Giants gave the Diamondbacks their 21st straight road game loss, and one loss closer to an MLB record. Arizona led the Giants 7-0 in the second inning, but that didn't last long. If the Diamondbacks lose one more road game, they will be tied for the most in a row with the 1963 New York Mets at 22. And with that, we are out of time for today, but as always, I'm TJ Tomkunas. Be sure to tell someone you love them, and be glad that you're not playing for the Diamondbacks. I'll see you next time. How's it going, Ospreys? TJ Tomkunas here with your sports news update on Inside Swoop 90. I hope you're all having a fantastic Tuesday so far. Another day has passed, and more shocking turns have come out of Tokyo. Olympic champion and American fan favorite gymnast Simone Biles has officially withdrawn from the Olympics. After an uncertain vault, Biles huddled with her coach and was then escorted off the floor by a team doctor. Minutes later, she returned to the floor to cheer on the rest of her team, but her leg was wrapped. But as she left the floor, so did the U.S. women's team's chance for the gold. The Russian Olympic Committee secured their first team gold medal in the Olympics in nearly 30 years, while the U.S. women held on for silver. This was the first time in 11 years that the U.S. women did not take gold. Heading over to the pool, the women's 100-meter breaststroke had a shocking gold medal winner. 17-year-old Lydia Jacoby of Alaska took first place, knocking off teammate and defending champion Lily King. Yes, you heard that right. A 17-year-old from Alaska took the gold. Jacoby was the first swimmer from the Arctic state to ever make the U.S. Olympic swimming team, and now she will be heading back to Seward, Alaska, population 2,773, as an Olympic champion. And staying poolside, the American men have lost a backstroke race for the first time since 1992. Russian athletes swept the top two positions, leaving defending champion and Ponte Vedra Beach local Ryan Murphy with the bronze. Despite winning 12 straight golds at the last 6 games, it seems the U.S. run for gold fell into the deep end. Not to worry though, we still have several superstars and several events left to bring home more medals. Speaking of medals, following another day at the Olympics, and despite the surprising and devastating turn of events, the U.S. has made some headway in medals. Currently, we sit at a total of 25 with 9 gold, 8 silver, and 8 bronze. We are ranked second overall with the most total medals, though Japan sits at number 1 with 18 total and 10 gold. China not too far behind at 9 gold as well as 21 total. With that, we are out of time, and sadly, this is the last time that I will see you all. It has been a privilege to be your host for all things sports and Olympics this summer. So as always, I'm TJ Tomkunas. Be sure to tell someone you love them, and thank you for joining me.